So either way, another informal Diabadass interview. I'm here with my good friend Geneva, who is an awesome backpacker, an artist, a native to New Mexico.
That's correct.
And yeah, an awesome T1D friend. You want to introduce your T1D half? And I'll work on the personal side of you since I know a little bit of it.
Sure.
But like diagnosis, what you use to pumps, all that good stuff.
Yeah, so I was diagnosed when I was 17. That's just over 6 years ago. Yeah.
Same age, pretty much.
Yeah. So
Hells yeah.
good old trying to establish who you are as a human, and then having to rethink it. Yeah, and I used injections for about 4 years. I didn't have a CGM.
Wow, 4 years.
Yeah, and so just about 2 years ago, I got on the Tandem pump and the Dexcom. So, yeah, and I think about 2 months ago, I upgraded to the Tandem T-Slim X2, which has been really great, and I also got the Dexcom G5. So,
pretty awesome.
Current.
Yeah, you might also recognize Geneva from, there's a Tandem video that our good friend Blair made.
I'm Geneva Poling, and I took my T-Slim pump into the wild on the North Coast Trail on Vancouver Island.
Celebrity over here. Since it's fresh on my mind, what convinced you to actually... So I was on shots for maybe 4 months, and my medical team was always like, we're just prepping you for the pump.
Oh.
What convinced you to be on it for 4 years?
Yeah, so I, for the first year after I was diagnosed, my endocrinologist was like, you really don't need a pump, it's not going to fit your lifestyle. I was taking such little insulin for the first year and a half, that it seemed like a pump would be excessive for what I needed. And it was kind of the only thing that I knew, and I didn't even do a trial of a pump until maybe 3 years after being diagnosed. And then when my lifestyle got a lot more active and I moved away from home, and I just wanted like a little more...
Which was all in that first, year for you?
Yeah, maybe. And it was just like, it got too hard to have pens with me all the time, to be doing finger sticks, 20 times a day as a neurotic, somewhat type A personality that I am. And yeah, and I really liked the pump for kind of the nuance that you can get, and you can see, how many units you have on board. You can really dial it in. That's been super helpful. But I think even more helpful than the pump has been the CGM, because it's constant information right there, and you don't have to whip out your meter in a restaurant
all the time?
All the time, and get blood everywhere.
I think from these conversations, it seems like people are switching towards recommending the CGM first, but I also think it's kind of fascinating of what endocrinologists expose you to and don't. We put such trust in our medical team that you're like, oh, I don't need a pump then, I don't need it.
It's well, they're the expert. They must know what my life is like.
And so Geneva and I did the North Coast Trail together in British Columbia, what motivated you to sign up? And want to give us a highlight?
Yeah, so what motivated me to sign up was actually a really bad breakup with a boyfriend. And
spurred our friendship, so I'm happy for it.
It led to so many
We're finding
great
the
things.
silver linings of all situations.
And I was really, really sad, and I think it was maybe 2 days after we broke up, and I had seen the application for the adventure team with Connected in Motion a while back, and I had kind of saved it, and I remembered it, and I was like, I need to do something radical. And I was like, yeah, just into the wild. Let's see what extreme sport I can do to remedy this sadness, and find who I am again, and what the next chapter of my life is going to be, and what I'm going to work towards again. So it was a good motivator to really do something that was all mine, that had something to do with my experience with diabetes, and how that had been really isolated just to me for a long time, that I didn't involve a lot of other people with my type 1 at all. So I was like, now's the time to highlight that and reach out and find other people that are having those same kind of cravings for adventure.
Because for me, that was the first time I've ever actually been with an all type 1 group.
Me
Is that
too.
Same thing
Yeah, I've never seen so many in my life.
for you? Here we are. The leprechauns have been discovered.
It's like so many type 1s and bald eagles on that trip. I'm like, this is not real.
What subtleties did you appreciate, or what was the power of having? How many were like 13 of
I
us?
think there were 13. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think like the benefit was?
I think just for me, it was not having to explain anything. Where it's like we'd be hiking, and I'd be hiking with you or with a small like subgroup of other people, and my blood sugar would be low, and I wouldn't have to like stop and apologize and like explain what was going on. It was just like, I'm low, we gotta sit down, like have a break and eat a Cliff Bar. And so that was nice not to have to feel guilty or explain
Right.
what's happening, just kind of this acceptance. So
Because I find when I'm actually hiking or doing stuff with other diabetics, like, you always, like, can casually glimpse at someone's blood sugar, and you're like, hey, Geneva, like, it's okay, we can stop. Like, I feel like we're, like, so used to this, like, pounding and going forward and be like, it's only 65, it's only 70.
Right, it's fine.
And you're like, we're in no rush, I understand.
I'm shaking, but it'll be okay. I can make it.
I'm 40, and you're like, please, here's some gummy bears. No, and that's what's, like, amazing. And then we went out to Catalina Island, which was, like, the social fun, just life on an island. Was there anything you did there for the first time?
Let's see. I went trail running with a group for the first time. I've been a runner for about 4 years, and I always like either run alone or maybe with my dad when I'm at home we'll go running, but I've never been with a group of runners, let alone type 1 runners. So that was really great. It was also extremely intimidating to be running like with Blair and Peter, who are like ultra marathon superstars. And I'm just
with
like,
Jerry and his 80
Jerry,
marathons,
exactly,
cover of
like,
Diabetes Forecast. I feel like in every episode I mention Jerry, legend.
You have to. Like, he's earned that. So that was the first. It was like really intimidating but motivating, and and also just like being on an island.
So does that mean, like, I feel like there's some sort of casual running group that's come up recently. Does that mean Santa Fe might have a type 1 run?
I think there might be something in the works. I think it'd be really, really cool. Get a few people
Craig is
on
reaching
board.
out to you right now.
I'd love it. It's great motivation to like, just those like subtle competitive tendencies, but it's good motivation to like get out when you have someone holding you to that as well.
And since we are in like the same, like I always kind of think at the stages of like you get over the initial shock of diabetes, and then we're both in like the 5+ years. Is there like anything you've been like thinking about changing or experiment? Like life with T1 is experimentation, but is there like anything that's on like your goal list for 2018 that you want to dive into or at least like explore?
Yeah, I mean, one thing that we've been talking to our new friend, our pen pal Kirsten, about is going on a keto diet, and I think I'd like to learn more about it and maybe incorporate a little bit of that into my life. But something when I got my pump upgrade was I just set like the
Can you
parameters.
explain that like a little bit, just because that's a cool thing that Tandem does?
Yeah, so they have, you mean like the
just
software
like your,
updates?
yeah.
So that's why I got the X2, is that you can update it. You can just download new software and not have to get a new pump every time there's like a new updated program and updated technology, and it's a free upgrade, which is great. So you can stay really current.
A little bit like the Tesla of pumps.
Exactly. That's Tandem.
I got Tandem. You're welcome.
Not that we're like sponsored or anything. Not yet.
No, but I think it's cool.
Yeah, so that's a huge draw, like to upgrading to the X2 if any of you are Tandem users. And so something when I got this new pump was I wanted to set the range for my blood sugar to be just a little tighter, to like give me alerts, before I'd go higher than I did prior to this pump, and just kind of rethink what my range is going to be. So that's something that I want to keep working on, is just, bringing in those lines a little closer together, and, trying to keep in range and have fewer lows and fewer.
I feel like that's what our community's embracing right now, is instead of A1C doing time and range and lows are no fun.
Lows are no fun, and an A1C is so misleading that, you can take it to your endo and they're like, you're doing great. You're like, well, not really. I woke up in the middle of the night, shaking and in my own sweat, but the numbers look great.
All right, wrapping up or moving this interview towards the end, if someone is visiting Santa Fe, what should be the 2 or 3 things that they experience?
Okay, so.
Which is hopefully going to be today.
Okay, so I would say number 1 is this amazing art museum interactive exhibit called Meow Wolf. And it's a startup that's been in the works for about 3 or 4 years with local New Mexico artists working to create this totally innovative experimental art project. So Erik and I are going to go this afternoon.
So exciting.
It's hopefully going to blow his mind and tear apart his soul at the seams.
Yeah.
So that's number 1.
She's not the only person that said this.
It's hard to explain to you. It's if you're in Santa Fe, if you're in New Mexico, you have to go. And they'll be in Denver in the next couple of years as well. We got a hike in yesterday that was great. See the whole city, tons and tons of outdoor opportunities here, and then you gotta get some good.
What's your favorite coffee shop?
Ooh, favorite coffee shop?
Pressure's on.
See, someone's gonna see this and they're gonna be like, well.
Good, you're either getting free coffee or not free coffee, so make your alliance right now, it's public.
I think I would have to say my favorite coffee shop, because I can walk there, is called Opuntia, and they have tea, and they have coffee, and they have great food, and it's a beautiful atmosphere. They sell succulents and cacti as well, and it's super hipster and really delicious. So
cool. I'm gonna bring the camera close because one thing before starting off, if you want to know the difference, look at these shoes. Geneva's been making fun of me all day, so. All right, we'll bring it in close, and you just want to sign off, say. How can people follow you? How can people reach out?
Yeah, follow me on Instagram at the Geneva Convention.
I'll link it below.
Link it, and feel free to check out the Tandem video where I talk about my experience on the North Coast Trail, and keep following Erik as he's doing amazing things.
Sweet! Thank you, Geneva. I'm glad you another impromptu Diabadass interview. So I'll leave all of her information, and we are going to go check out Meow Wolf.
Sweet.
Sweet! We're out of here.
Nice.
Yeah.